Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the world's only country where progress is measured not in speed or quality, but in how efficiently you can keep the past alive. Yes, welcome to Japan, where we don't just resist change, we politely bow to it, ask it to wait in the lobby, and then never invite it in. You may have heard the global myth Japan, the land of innovation, the home of bullet trains, robotics, and gadgets so advanced you'd swear they were designed by aliens with engineering PhDs. And sure, in 1985 that was true. But now, Japan's cutting edge is like a samurai sword that hasn't been sharpened since the bubble era. Still shiny, still pretty. But try slicing reality with it and you'll be stuck. Here, innovation doesn't die. It goes into a witness protection program. Want to send a bank transfer? You'll need a paper form, a personal stamp, and a free afternoon. Need to share a document at work? Forget Google Drive. Just fax it over like it's 1993. And yes, every office has one, right next to the shrine dedicated to our glorious past. What's even better is the national PR machine. The travel brochures show you a futuristic Tokyo skyline, robot cafes, and drones delivering sushi. But what they don't show you is that the robot cafe runs on Windows XP. The sushi drone needs a faxed order, and the guy programming it is still wearing a pager. So buckle up, or rather, tie your obi, because we're about to take a tour of Japan's most impressive innovations in standing perfectly still. In most countries, a fax machine is a dusty relic stored in a basement, right next to floppy disks and VHS tapes. In Japan, it's a sacred member of the family. Not only is it still alive, it's thriving. The Japanese office worker doesn't just use a fax, they worship it. They feed it paper like a beloved pet and stroke its buttons like a Shiba Inu after a long day. Why? Because here, progress is terrifying. The idea of sending a PDF via email? Horrifying. Too fast, too easy, and worst of all, it doesn't make that comforting screeching noise that says, you're still living in the Showa era. And let's not forget, Japan loves tangible things. Digital signatures? Untrustworthy. A blurry, barely legible faxed contract? Now that's legally binding. Government offices are especially proud of this tradition. Need to register for a public service? No online portal for you. Instead, fill out a paper form, stamp it with your personal Hanko seal, and fax it in. The best part? You can't just fax it from home. You have to go to a convenience store to do it. That's right. Innovation here means combining 1980s office tech with a 24-hour shop that also sells fried chicken. And if you think this is just old-fashioned nostalgia, think again. Major Japanese corporations still buy brand new fax machines. Manufacturers keep making them because there's demand. It's like selling flip phones in 2025. Only in Japan can you turn technological stagnation into a profitable business model. Meanwhile, the rest of the world is video conferencing with AI-powered language translation. But in Japan, we're still praying to the holy fax machine because nothing says innovative nation, like sending contracts one pixelated page at a time. In most of the world, signing a document is a quick scrawl of your name. In Japan, that's far too modern, too simple, and, worst of all, too convenient. Here, we use Hanko, a small cylindrical stamp carved with your name that acts as your official signature. It's your identity, your credibility, your proof of existence. And it's made of plastic from a 100 yen store. Yes, in this high-tech paradise, your entire financial and legal life hinges on a tiny piece of acrylic that can be lost in your couch cushions. Forget fingerprints, retinal scans, or encrypted digital IDs. Here, the real gold standard is a stamp invented in feudal times, back when the biggest cybersecurity threat was a guy with a brush and bad handwriting. And oh, the ceremony! You don't just stamp a paper. You align it perfectly, you press with solemn dignity, and then you admire the red ink impression like you've just signed a peace treaty. Need a new bank account? Bring your Hanko? Renting an apartment? Hanko. Filing your marriage certificate? Oh, definitely Hanko, because nothing says lifelong commitment like a 300 yen stamp from Don Quixote. But here's the kicker. In an age where you can buy a deep fake of yourself for $20, Japan still believes Hanko prevents fraud. That's right. A stamp that anyone can copy with a photo and a 3D printer is considered more secure than any password. The The government even resisted going digital during COVID-19 because, wait for it, it would mean ending Hanko culture. Meanwhile, your boss is scanning documents into PDFs only to print them again, stamp them, and then fax them. Why? Because Japan's innovation model is simple. Take every obsolete technology, stack it together, and call it tradition. While the rest of the world is tapping phones, scanning QR codes, and paying with smartwatches, Japan is proudly living in the era of jingling coins and crisp paper bills. Yes, cash is king here, and not the suave modern king with an app and a loyalty program. No, this is the old cranky king who refuses to retire, smells faintly of mothballs, and insists that real money has to be physically touched, smelled, and counted twice. Go to any convenience store and try to pay with a credit card. Sure, they'll take it. After they swipe, insert, print a receipt, hand you a pen to sign, and bow at least 3 times. Want to pay with a phone? Congratulations, you've just confused the cashier. They'll call a manager who will call another manager who will eventually tell you, cash, please. Japan's love for cash isn't just a quirky tradition, it's a lifestyle. Landlords want rent in envelopes of hard currency. Utility companies still send paper bills with payment slips, which you then bring, physically, to a convenience store to pay in cash. Even million-yen business deals are sometimes handled with briefcases full of notes, because nothing says secure transaction like hauling around a pile of paper worth a small house. And forget about splitting the bill at a restaurant with a cashless app. Here, it's all about counting coins at the table, carefully handing over exact change, and then wasting another 5 minutes exchanging 1 yen coins until everyone's even. Why the obsession? Partly distrust of digital systems, partly the joy of feeling like a feudal tax collector, and partly the belief that cash can't be hacked, unless, of course, someone just walks off with it. But hey, at least it keeps the economy moving, at roughly the speed of a sumo wrestler jogging uphill. In most developed countries, digital forms have replaced paperwork. In Japan, paperwork has replaced digital forms. That's right. Instead of moving forward, we've gone full circle, like a bureaucratic Ouroboros eating its own tail in triplicate. Here, there's a form for everything. Apply for a bank account, fill out Form A, then Form A2, then Form A2 Revised, 2020 edition. Want to cancel your phone contract? Sorry, we can't accept that by email. You'll have to visit the store in person, fill out a form, stamp it with your Hanko, and sign a declaration that you are in fact yourself, witnessed by 2 other people, who must also stamp it with their Hankos. And heaven forbid you make a mistake. Cross out a word? Nope. Start over. Use correction fluid? Absolutely not. We'll reject the form for improper alteration. The only acceptable fix is to write it again, on a fresh sheet of paper, preferably after a 3-hour wait in line. The Japanese government's commitment to paper isn't just a cultural quirk, it's a full-blown economic engine. Think about it. The paper mills, the ink suppliers, the pen manufacturers, all thriving thanks to a system that treats cloud storage like a passing fad. Offices are overflowing with filing cabinets, each one stuffed with documents no one will ever look at again, but must be preserved for 30 years, just in case. And the best part? Many offices have digitized their paperwork by scanning every sheet into a PDF, printing it again, stamping it, and then filing it. Yes, we've achieved the ultimate innovation, paperwork in HD. So if you're ever worried about deforestation, don't be. Japan is doing its part to keep the global paper industry alive, one redundant form at a time. You guys from English-speaking countries might be thinking, surely the younger generation is pushing back against all this. Oh, you sweet summer child, at least not in the office. Not a single white-collar worker is standing up and saying, this is ridiculous. Unless, of course, they've already opted out of the system entirely. And those people? They're probably a YouTuber, an influencer, or the black sheep who fled to Bali to sell digital courses about finding yourself. In Japan's corporate ecosystem, the phrase speak up is synonymous with kiss your career goodbye. The old proverb says, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. In Japan 2025, it's evolved. The nail doesn't just get hammered, it gets ripped out, thrown in the ocean, and erased from the national census. This isn't a place where constructive criticism is welcome. This is a place where questioning the sacred fax machine or the holy hanko is like spitting on the emperor's tea set. Even if you're young, fresh-faced, and full of big ideas from your semester abroad in Sydney, the moment you say, "Hey, why don't we just email this?" you've basically written your resignation letter. So, what do most young people do? They adapt. They bow. They learn the choreography of meaningless overtime and the sacred art of shuffling papers. They post filtered food photos on Instagram at night, but by day, they're just as trapped as their 50-year-old bosses, only with better hair. Yes, there's a tiny minority rejecting the script. The YouTubers, the TikTok dancers, the startup dreamers. But they're not just nails sticking out, they're nails that have left the plank entirely. The rest? They've mastered the quiet survival skill of pretending to care while secretly counting down the days to their annual company trip, to another conference room. Then, you guys from Western countries will raise an objection again. It's not right to live such a boring life. Oh, my dear idealists, that's adorable. In Japan, even $1,200 a month, that's about 180,000 yen, is treated like a golden gift from the heavens. Why? Because in the rigid hierarchy of Japanese society, once you slip down the ladder, you're not climbing back up. Ever. If you leave your white-collar job for a blue-collar one, you can kiss the corporate office goodbye forever. It's not a career break. It's an unmarked grave in your professional history. This is the land where the labour market is less free-flowing and more cast in concrete. Social mobility? Non-existent. In the US, you can go from flipping burgers to running a startup. In Japan, if you flip a burger, that's the only flipping you'll be doing until retirement. And no, your loyalty won't be rewarded with promotion, just with slightly more polite exploitation. And that's why people cling to dull, soul-numbing office jobs like their lives depend on it, because they do. The paycheck may barely cover rent, but it's the only thing standing between you and a one-way ticket to the land of never-again white-collar work. In other words, Japan's social structure is basically North Korea with convenience stores. Sure, you have internet, anime, and vending machines that sell both hot coffee and cold beer, but in terms of class, status, and job mobility, completely locked down. You don't just voice your opinion in this system. That's like telling a North Korean soldier you don't like his uniform. Technically possible, but functionally suicidal. So yes, $1,200 a month may sound insulting to you, but in Japan, it's the invisible collar everyone wears, tight enough to keep you obedient, loose enough to make you think you're free. So, after our little tour of fax machines, sacred stamps, cash worship, paper shrines, obedient youth, and the holy $1,200 paycheck, what's the big picture? Well, it's not really about technology at all. Japan's gadgets may be outdated, sure, but that's just a symptom. The real story is that this society is structurally frozen, like a bonsai tree, carefully pruned so it never grows beyond its pot. Think about it. No social mobility, no safe way to question authority. Everyone locked in their proper place, terrified of slipping down the ladder because there's no way back up. That's not a modern democracy with quirky traditions. That's the North Korean social model with better PR and nicer train stations. The difference? In North Korea, you know you're trapped. In Japan, they give you a company uniform, a bowing manual, and a business card, then tell you it's freedom. The bars of the cage are made of politeness, stability, and the illusion of choice. But a cage with a pretty view is still a cage. And this is why nothing changes. Not because people are lazy, not because they don't notice, but because the cost of sticking out, speaking up, or breaking away is too high. In a society this rigid, survival means silent compliance. So the next time someone tells you Japan is a unique blend of tradition and modernity, just smile and remember, it's also a unique blend of North Korean-style social immobility with a Hello Kitty mascot on top. I'm Professor Nam, reminding you that in Japan, it's not the nail that sticks out that gets hammered. It's the whole toolbox that gets locked away. Subscribe, hit the like button, and remember, freedom isn't just about where you live. It's about whether you can actually move.